Hi, welcome to my channel, Moving to Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Mindy Kesnick and I'm your host. Today we are going to be talking about the cost of living in Madison, Wisconsin. The cost of living in Madison, Wisconsin is considered slightly higher than the national average, which is no surprise because it's an amazing place to live. Let's start with the cost of housing because that's going to be the biggest chunk of your monthly expenses. The cost of living for Madison, Wisconsin is higher than the national average. According to Motley Fool, the median home value in the entire US in the third quarter of 2022 was around $392,000. The number I'm going to talk about today is from a little bit more current. We are currently just into May, and as of today, for the year of 2023, the median list price for all of the east side and all of the west side as a whole for Madison proper was $407,000. The median sale price was $420,000 for a single family property, like I said, in all of the east side and all of west side, which we've talked about. East side and west side are very different, but that's just the median to give you an idea of where we're seeing prices as of right now. So that data is a little bit hard to follow just because we were using a national average from third quarter of 2022, and I'm kind of talking about current numbers as of right now. But you will see in Madison, the good thing about our housing market is we have been appreciating between 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12% over the last couple of years. We don't expect that to last forever, but that's where we've been sitting. So yes, the housing costs are a little bit higher on average than the rest of the nation. But the good news is, so are our appreciations. So if you invest in real estate in Madison, Wisconsin, you're likely to do well when you go ahead and sell at a later date. Unfortunately, rents in Madison, Wisconsin are also above the national average. I can speak to this a little bit from some personal experience that I recently had. Last year, we sold our old home while we were building our new home, and there was a period of time where we needed to spend in an apartment, and we paid a little over $2,100 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in Cottage Grove, which is just outside Madison, Wisconsin. It's going to depend on location that way, but typically it's expensive to rent and it's also really hard to get in. The expectations and the requirements to rent an apartment or a single family home in this area are really competitive. Next, let's talk a little bit about utilities. Utilities are considered on the lower end on a national average in this area. The number I have is a monthly average of $80 a month. That seems a little low in my opinion, but that's what the data is telling me. And according to this data, the national average is closer to $115. So we are considered a little bit on the lower side. I would not expect to pay quite that low, but it does depend on the season. And if you are an open window person, that's going to really help you lower your utility bills every month. We do have a fair amount of months every year that you can not use heat and not use air conditioning, and you can just open the windows and experience a nice cool breeze. Unless you are running a gas fireplace all day and all night, which sometimes you're gonna wanna do it in this area, or you're using your gas heater for your pool all day long, all summer, you can keep your utilities at a really reasonable price around here. Next, let's talk about transportation. I have talked about transportation in some of my other videos specific to how the walkability is in Madison, Wisconsin. If you are in Madison proper, you can find an area that you can either walk or find public transportation pretty easily. If you are in the outskirts or the suburbs of Madison, Wisconsin, public transportation is almost non-existent. However, if you are somebody who wants to move into, the downtown area, or you want to move and not have to purchase a car, the transportation is pretty reasonable. You can get a 31-day bus pass unlimited for around $65 a month, which I would say is pretty darn cheap. And our bus system it's pretty great. It's, they're used to driving. They're used to commuting in the snow and the wind and the rain and all of those things. So very rarely does the Madison Metro shut down. And there's pretty regular bus stops. So you shouldn't have to be on any sort of public transportation for multiple hours if you choose to use that as your main transportation. Now, like I've talked about in some of my other videos, we do consider Madison, Wisconsin to be a fairly car-dependent city, but it completely depends on your needs and where you're looking to commute. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is food and groceries. We have an amazing food scene, which again, I have talked about in some of my other videos. That's one of my favorite things about living in Madison, Wisconsin. I can go out to eat almost every single weekend and find a place that I have never experienced before and that is going to provide an incredible dining experience. You can easily find a really delicious meal at a restaurant in Madison, Wisconsin for anywhere between $15 to $20. Now, we do have some higher scale restaurants, of course, steakhouses and extraordinary culinary experiences, especially in the downtown area, where you can pay, more like 50 to 60 or above per entree. That's not the usual. And let me tell you, the other amazing thing about Madison, Wisconsin is there is pretty much no dress code whatsoever, no matter where you go. So don't worry about what type of shoes you're wearing, or if you want to wear your casual jeans out to a really fancy restaurant here, go for it. As for groceries, we're paying a fair amount for groceries right now. However, I'm pretty sure that's nationwide. I looked up today, and as of right now, in one of my favorite grocery stores, which is Woodman's, it's very local to Madison, Wisconsin. And if you've ever lived in Madison, Wisconsin, you will appreciate the amazingness that Woodman's is. The shopping experience is not super amazing. You're gonna get by far the greatest variety and also the lowest price. Right now, they're selling a carton of eggs, 12 eggs, for about $7 per carton. I got 18 at Costco for $7. So if you're willing to spend some time in your grocery shopping, you can kind of get the best of all the worlds if you're willing to go to Woodman's and Costco, and maybe you want to pick up, some of your fresh produce at Whole Foods. You're going to pay a lot more at Whole Foods, but obviously the quality of their produce is greater because they're not buying in such bulk. Right now, unfortunately, an organic gallon of milk is almost $10 a gallon, even at Woodman's, which is a very reasonable grocery store in our area. Groceries are outrageous, but again, I don't think as of May in 2023 that is unique to Madison, Wisconsin. I think that is nationwide. We are all struggling in our grocery stores. I hope that helps you get a little bit of a feel for the cost of living in Madison, Wisconsin. If you have specific questions about the cost of anything that I didn't talk about today, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. You know how to find me. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you soon.